Alright, so chapter 2 of the Vagabond manga. Let's get right down into it without wasting any time. This chapter is important because A, it's chapter number 2, and B, because it adds depth to the previously introduced characters and goes on to further introduce new characters that have a pretty heavy impact on the series down the road. Chapter 2 starts with Takezo and Matahachi waking up in a house. They don't know where they are and it is not clearly stated in the manga, but they wake up nonetheless. Matahachi asks Takezo where they are. Takezo does not reply, but instead says that what matters is that we're alive. And in the next panel we are introduced to a negative design artwork of Takezo, alongside the chapter title named Akemi. It is the dark of night and we see a woman dressing herself up and looking very good. Once she is ready, she approaches Takezo and the woman is clearly trying to lead our samurai boy astray. This catches the young novice by surprise, who shrugs off the woman, adding to her dismay. As he gains some consciousness, he sees that Matahachi is alive and kicking and having a cup of sake in the other room. It's clear that this is the woman's home. Almost instantly, Takezo asks Matahachi to leave, to which Matahachi objects. He says that they have to thank the woman for her hospitality and whatnot. The woman, whose name is Oko, starts to goad Takezo to stay inside as well. The woman continues to insist and even goes so far as to say that one of them should marry Akemi, her daughter, and stay indefinitely. Now, Akemi is the girl who saved the duo from being unalived in the battlefield in chapter 1. When the discussion of marriage is brought up, Matahachi is visibly looking interested at the prospect. He blushes but is hesitant for some reason. We later find out what that reason is. The next panel is shot in a forest and Takezo is seen picking mushrooms alongside Akemi, and Akemi tells him that the mushrooms he's picked up are poisonous and then asks him whether he's trying to do something that is bad to Akemi and the gang. Afterwards, Akemi says something that is quite interesting. She asks Takezo, "Why don't you ask me any questions?" Takezo is confused at this and does not know what to ask. We later find out that our boy Matahachi has been asking Akemi questions non-stop. He asked the women about their age, where Akemi's father was, and so on. The endless barrage continued. Takezo the Stoic has no need to ask such trivial questions because that is not where his mind lies. It's clearly shown that his focus is entirely on the sword. Eventually the conversation goes down to the ages of the two characters. Takezo mentions that he's 17 while Akemi says that she's 15. Then there is a joke about Takezo looking like he's 30. The next question is quite important as Takezo asks Akemi what she was doing at the battlefield at night. Then we see a quick back and forth of panels switching from Matahachi to Takezo. The question posed by Takezo is quite logical as there is no basis for a young girl to be present at a battlefield that is riddled with the remains of war. Switching over to the other side, Matahachi is in Oko's house and accidentally pulls up a compartment that reveals plenty of swords and military equipment. He marvels at the swords and their number. Just then, Oko arrives and catches him snooping around in her special compartment. The shot then goes to Akemi, who says that she and her mother are thieves who steal military equipment from battlefields and sell them. Oko says the same thing in her shot but in a very different manner. It's a manner which catches Matahachi off guard and confuses the young man. Now the way that the both of them respond to Oko's advances is very important since it sets the tune for the rest of the series. Takezo didn't care one bit about the more humanist, side of things, while Matahachi is indulgent in such desires. The reason being that both of their upbringing was very different, but more on that in the coming videos. After telling Takezo all that, Akemi then asks him if he has any further questions, to which Takezo says, "Who's that?" referring to a man in the distance. The artwork and the appearance of the man clearly show that he means business and is an enemy. Akemi in anger throws a rock at the man, which he avoids and then refers to her by her name, indicating that this man knows who she is. As she is in the arms of Takezo, she is seen shuddering at this man's presence, and finally she responds to Takezo's question by saying that this man is Tsujikaze Tenma, the man who killed her father. I've already analyzed some personality aspects of both Matahachi and Takezo as I went along with the description of the chapter, but I feel that it is equally important to discuss Oko and Akemi. Now, these women play a variety of great roles in the series. I don't want to spoil you, but in both the book and the manga, they are present in almost every volume. In the next couple of volumes, Oko in particular is the one who acts as a catalyst to Matahachi's destruction. I say catalyst because while Matahachi was by his very nature going towards a life of ruin in the series, there were just some characters who pushed things along. As far as Tsujikaze Tenma is concerned, he has an important role in Takezo's life as well, which we'll see in the coming chapters. So that is all there is for chapter 2, and we move on to chapter 3.